We're gonna make cedar plank salmon today. This is farm-raised salmon. You could see the fat in farm-raised salmon. If you see wild salmon, you're not gonna see that much fat. It's got a ton of flavor and it's really healthy for you. So, not to mention it's less expensive. So this is a nice piece. I got a head piece, which is the thicker portion. It should cook a little more evenly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our rub. I use this all the time, and put a link back out to the recipe. The cedar is gonna throw off a lot of flavor, so I don't wanna overpower. And then what I'm gonna do is, I had some, these are Clementines, if you have oranges, just as well. I had these in my refrigerator. I'm just gonna slice these, and we're gonna use these as well to top the salmon. The next step is to get the cedar planks on the grill. So we're gonna let these go for about 5 or 6 minutes until they start smoking. So while the grill's heating up, we're gonna make 2 sauces, really simple ones. We're gonna use basically the same ingredients throughout this recipe. The first one, I figured we'd use some of John's honey. I'm just gonna give a little pour of that into a bowl. I mean, there's no real science here. I just, that's about a, you know, half a teaspoon. And then I'm gonna take the juice of these Clementines or oranges, if you have those. Throw a clove of garlic in there. The way I do garlic, if you want to smash it up, is you just take the whole clove, take the back of your knife, make sure the blade's away from you. You just kind of pound down on it, and the skin comes right off. And then you could chop this as finely as you want. And so you just scoop it up and put that in there. We're gonna use some of our rub here. This will be the salt and pepper. Kind of whisk in some olive oil here. If you have a whisk, that's fine. You could just use a fork to mix it up. Here we go. The planks are on well, they're smoking nicely. I could smell it. We heard the wood cracking. So let's turn these over. Nice, that's what we're looking for. So the wood is starting to char. You could smell the cedar coming out of these. So I'm gonna move these off. This is gonna be our cooking service from the heat here on the left to the cool side on the grill. Now listen to that. And then we're gonna get our salmon ready to go on the grill. So we're just adding a little of the zest, citrus in here. I always like to add some of that. It adds extra flavor. Why don't we get started? We're gonna make another quick sauce. This one is gonna be a nice accompaniment to the citrus-based one. We're gonna use a little bit of Dijon mustard, some more of our rub. I'm using this in place of salt and pepper just because it has both of them in here. A dollop of sour cream. So this will kind of cut through you know, what is the fattiness of salmon, and then add a nice little you know, kind of counter to the citrus flavor. You just take a scoop of this, and then what I'm going to do is I brought some fresh herbs from my garden. So we're just going to dice some of these up. You don't have to be too fancy on that. And we'll add that right into this sauce, and that'll be ready to go. So this is about 1.5 pounds of salmon. I'm gonna keep the skin on. I love the skin of salmon. It's also gonna help protect it as it grills. So we're gonna go skin side down. I portioned this into 2 pieces. Let's see how it fits on the cedar. So ideally, we're gonna get 2 pieces of salmon on the one board, and I think that's gonna work just perfectly. I put the fat pieces into the middle because that's where more of the heat is. We're gonna top this with the orange slices that we have, and I'm gonna close the lid on this. This is asparagus. I use my knife to chop off the ends here. You can see this is where they were cut from the ground. You wanna get rid of that. Here's some prosciutto. This isn't the expensive stuff. You can get this from any supermarket deli counter, and you can make some nice bundles. I like a little Dijon mustard as a binder, and we're gonna roll these guys up, and the prosciutto adds great flavor. We're gonna get our asparagus on. I'm just gonna give these a little brushing. I'm gonna take these and get them right on. I'm gonna put these on the hot side to start, so you can hear that sizzling. And you'll see this prosciutto is gonna tighten up and make a nice tight bundle around this. Before we close the lid, I'm gonna use some of that glaze to put over the salmon. Nice. The asparagus has been on for about 3 minutes. You can see how they're getting nice and charred here. This salmon has got another minute. You can see that glaze is starting to brown up. So another minute and we're coming off. Good. We're gonna get these asparagus off. The good thing about this meal is it's great if you could serve it hot, but salmon and the asparagus, they're perfect at room temperature. That's a great thing to cook for a party. Let's get these guys off. Look at that, we'll put one up. And then I'm gonna take this, I think that's done. See, I like my salmon a little under. You could see we're cooked, you know, very well there, but in the middle, you're gonna get a nice rare piece, which I really like. So let's get this off to rest for a couple minutes. The salmon's rested for about 2 minutes, and ideally I'm going to use the spatula and keep the skin on the cedar. We'll just take a little bit of this asparagus. Now you can get 2 bundles. And here's a little of this sauce. You might want to keep this off to the side. I'm going to give it a little bit extra of the glaze because we have it. Chives are nice on the top of salmon. So this is cedar-planked salmon with prosciutto-wrapped asparagus. It should, it should be good. Simple flavors again.